Okay, so a lot of this stuff is good, but we could make it even better. And to make it better, it has to do with this order portion, right? So when we create a brand new order, we want to just do this by default. That is, make all of the other ones that have the same cart inactive. We don't want them there anymore, right? As in, it shouldn't be a relative order at all. So then what we want to do is have a method that calls this, right? New or get. So both of those things we want to work in conjunction with each other. The first one is actually changing this before it's even created. So let's go ahead and go into our order model. And we've got this pre-save create order ID. Now, what I want to do is basically say we want to go and get our order.objects.filter, and it's going to be the cart equaling to the instance.cart. If qs.exists, then we probably want to say qs.update active equals to false. Oh, there is, of course, one thing in here. We want to say exclude payment, or it's not payment, but billing profile equaling to billing profile. Or instance.billing profile. Like that. Okay, so this should handle it, I think. So we will try this out. I'm going to go back into my cart view and comment this one out. Okay, so we should see that this will deactivate any old ones with that same cart. Okay, so let's go back into our project here. I'm going to log out, products, hat, add to cart, checkout, continue as guest. Here we go. We've got cart 39. Here is our actual order ID. We're going to go ahead and log in. Go to the cart, checkout. Still cart 39. There's our order ID. So now back into the admin. This one right here, that most recent order, should be now inactive. I click on it. What do you know? It's inactive. Our current one is active. Perfect. If I refresh in here multiple times, my order ID is not changing. Good sign. Cart's not changing. Great sign. Okay, so that actually removes that as an issue for us right there. So all we really need to do is now have this portion be in the model manager for the order. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And again, I'm going to call it new or get, because that is my custom method. Instead of get or create that's built into Django, I'm calling it new or get. So I'm going to copy this, and in my orders, I will put it below the order status choices, and we'll say class order manager models.model, and we're going to define it as new or get. And it's going to take in self. That's always an argument here. And of course, the billing profile as well as the cart object. Okay. So we return this. And one way or the other, it's going to return the order object. So now that we, took out this from our view, we can simplify the verbiage here to being QS and then OBJ. Just so there's consistency between how it's actually handled. Okay. So, let's say, for instance, you forgot, okay, well, I don't actually want to have the class itself on here. So how do I actually do this? Well, we could look at our other one. So I think we had it, in carts? So get or create. We've got the query set here. There it is, self.getQS. And then as far as the model is concerned, I actually did do cart objects.new, which in here I probably could do self.new because new's right there. But I can really just kind of go off that, or I see that self.model.objects.create. That's how we do it. That's just if you kind of forgot how these things work. So I'll just do self.get query set, and then we're going to do that filter. And then instead of order, we'll just do self.model.objects.create, and that's creating our new cart, our new order rather. And it works exactly the same. So it's really not any different than what we just saw in the view. The biggest difference here is how the actual logic is handled. So we bring in this order manager into our objects here. And now if we go back into that cart, really, really simply, we can just do order object equals to order objects dot new or get. And we used the billing profile and the cart. I'm going to delete all of these things now, and it's now just order object. And then I'll just say order object created. That is, we want a tuple to come back, just like we did with the cart. So let's go back into our model manager, and we'll just say created equals to false, and created, well, we can put it after and do created equals to true. I just put it after to make sure, I mean, if there's some error or something like that happened there, then we would put that. Okay. And I'm actually going to put this up there. Great. Okay. Test it again. Refreshing here. I got a manager, new or get. It's not in there. New or get. So it's there. Maybe I have to go back into that view. Objects, order.objects, new or get. Let's just restart the server here. Try that then. Refresh, still giving me that error. Let's make sure that I can pass these two things in my order.objects, new or get, billing profile. Oh, that's why. We called this a model. That should be a manager. Oops. Sorry about that. Refresh. There we go. Still the same. But now if we look at our cart view, it's a lot cleaner, right? It's usable now versus what it was before. And again, if we for some reason needed to do this somewhere else, we can, much like we did with the cart. Really cool. Okay, so the big question you may have is like, oh, well, can't I combine like pretty much all of this into this? You can. You absolutely can do that. In this case, I wouldn't recommend it because we have our forms here. I want to make sure that on this view that I actually understand what's going on. So this is logged in user checkout, and this is the guest, right? Guest user checkout. And it automatically reloads payment stuff, basically. And this one will remember payment stuff. That's kind of the biggest difference between those two things. So when it's auto reloaded, it is still remembering. So like us as the admin of the site, we do actually need to remember some of the payment stuff. But the end user, I mean, they'll know that to a degree, but they won't know it to the point where, hey, I can just check out my payment stuff all over again. Really cool. Okay, so that is cleaning up our order objects so we can do new or get. And that is just getting us one step further to that next step, which would be actually adding in addresses to our billing profile, or rather into our order itself. Stay with us.